Yes, this is Daniel Ekunlui. Currently building Dadref homes, right? And you know, today was a beautiful day. Today was a wonderful day, and I got home late, so I still needed to work. I still needed to deliver value, right? And also part of my commitment to build an online presence and also ensure I build a community of real estate investors. And by the way, I'm more concerned at this stage with first-time land buyers, people who just want to invest in land for the first time, or people who are looking for somebody who could help them manage their properties, or people who could advise them more on how the land business works. So that's basically what I'm working with for now, before we move to the next stage of business. But for now, let's keep working with first-time buyers, first-time landowners, first-time home buyers, those who have bought land and would like us to sell, and those who want us to manage the properties for them. So those are what I'm working with for now. And tonight, let's just look at mistakes, the biggest mistakes first-time land buyers make. Biggest mistake first-time land buyers make. You see, real estate is just investing in real estate is just like any other thing we plan for, because you want to build a future, you want to live better life tomorrow, right? So as such, you really need to plan. You need to plan for it, and real estate is not an exception. So, by the way, that's just the introduction. Let's just go to what I have, and it's just the biggest mistake first-time land buyers make when buying land. And the first one is that they have no plan. They have no goal for investing. They just hear a land is here and they want to buy. They hear property is here, they want to buy. Like Yoruba people will say, Amandi Owomole, right? And they just plan to just date the Owomole, right? But, it's not every land you buy that gives you profit. So that's why you don't just buy anyhow because people are buying. You must understand why people buy. You must understand why you want to buy. So let's start with this. Before you buy any property, you must have a goal. You must have a plan. You must know why you are buying, because why you are buying determines what you buy. Your goal for buying determines what you buy, determines what fits into your real estate portfolio at that particular time, because it is not every land that belongs that fits you, or is not any land that matches your goal at a particular time. Not every one of them, right? We have a lot of land adverts, we have a lot of real estate advert, but your plan, your goal helps you know what you really want. So are you buying land to build a house? Are you buying for investment purposes? So if you are buying for investment, what investment are we looking at? Is it land banking? Are you buying to flip? Right? Are you buying for commercial purpose? Are you buying for agricultural purpose? Right? These are things you must bear in mind because what your goal is will set what you want to buy. Because all lands are not equal and they give you different values. So let's take, for example, you want to land bank. Somebody who wants to land bank, your goal is that at the end of at least minimum 10 years, you want to sell this land for profit. So you buy the land cheap today to sell for more profit tomorrow. Yeah, that is your goal. Somebody land banking will be more patient compared to somebody who wants to flip a property. Right? So if you are somebody who is buying a land for the purpose of flipping, that is just to make quick cash in few or in a short period of time, right? Your goal is different. So for somebody buying to flip, you are probably going to buy in a developed area, a place that is in demand, right? Such as when you buy, you can easily sell, right? But for somebody land banking, the person is not going to buy in the city. The person is not going to buy in a booming location. The person is going to buy in an emerging location, a location where development will catch up with. Are you getting? So as such, you can see from somebody who wants to flip and somebody who wants to land bank, there are two different things, right? There are two different things. So as such, know your goal and why you are investing. Know your goal and why you are investing. So that is the first thing. You must have a plan, you must have a goal. You must know why you are investing in land. You must know why you are investing in property, and not just my mates are buying land, I want to buy. Because if you buy for the wrong reason, right? If you buy for the wrong reason, you may actually be making the wrong decision. So the second reason is buying cheap lands and not buying land because of the value the land will offer you. You know, I was listening to a podcast where it's not really even a podcast, it's a live video where KG Giwa was addressing diaspora investors, and he was saying that diaspora investors shouldn't buy land for affordability, they should buy for profitability, right? And that statement is not just true for diaspora investors, it is true for everybody who wants to invest in land. It is true for everybody who wants to invest in property, right? You are not investing in property because it is affordable. You are not investing because it is cheap, right? You are investing because of the value the property will give you, because of the value you get from the land. And in my opinion, a very cheap land is most times very, very risky. It's most times risky. And when you hear a land is cheap, know for sure that the land is cheap because of a particular reason. The land is cheap for a particular reason. You see, a land can never be cheap when there is not a factor that is making it cheap. For example, a land can be cheap because the location where you want to buy the land is just coming up. It's still an emerging location, right? As such, you are going to find out that the person that is selling the land is willing to sell at a cheaper price, right? That's a good reason. Another reason may be probably the person who has the land, right, wants to sell for a particular reason. The person just needs cash. The person needs cash. So the person can decide, okay, if this land is worth 80 million naira, please let me just sell this land for 50 million. I beg. I need urgent cash. That can be another reason. and that is a very good reason as well, right? And you can leverage that anytime you see such deal, when the land is at distress. But meanwhile, when a land is also on distress, it may also be probably in this case, maybe the tenure on the land is almost coming to an end, or probably there's something wrong with the property, or maybe the property is on a right of way, or probably the property is on a land government want to acquire, right? And the person wants to sell off so that they are not affected whatsoever government will do in that area. So you need to understand why. Another reason why land is cheap may be that, probably something is wrong with the title document. Maybe the documents to the land is incomplete, right? Probably maybe the landowner has a survey. A land that has a survey, right? The price will be totally different from a land that has a CFO. That may also be another reason, right? Another reason why land may be cheap may be probably the land, right, is under government acquisition, and the person who has the land knows, so he wants to sell it to dispose it. It may also be probably there's a family issue on the land. The person just wants to take the whole wall and dump it to somebody. That may also be another reason. Do you get? So there are countless reasons why a land is cheap, or why a property can be cheap, because that can also be for a house. So you must check why a property, be it land, be it house, why is this land cheap? Because a land is never cheap, or property is never cheap without a reason. So that is the second thing. We've talked about having a goal before you buy a property. We've talked about why you shouldn't buy a land because it is cheap. Buy because the land, the property has value. Buy because the document of the property is verified, right? Buy because the document of the property is accurate. Buy because the document of the property is complete. Do you get? So that is why you should buy. That is the reasons why you should buy a land. Don't buy land because the land is cheap. Because cheap land, most times, is cheap trouble, is cheap wahala. So let's move to the next one. It's also talking about not verifying your property. You get? So many a times, people just buy property and never, verify the property. They never verify the document. They don't even verify the location. So people are even buying property. They don't know the location of their property. They don't know where their property is located, right? I could remember sometimes 3 months ago when I wanted to acquire a large portion of land at Ibadan. It's about 30 acres thereabout. So the location where I was to acquire the land was selling per acre there for 1.2, 1.5 million per acre, right? But the person that wanted to sell the land to me was telling me that they want to sell the land for 6 million naira per acre. Do you get? So I had to do my own background check, and I found out that this location, no, you can't buy a land here for more than 1.5 million, for more than 1.2, 1.5 million naira per acre. Do you get? So I had to call again and we had to talk. At the end of the day, I knew that they were scheming some things and we had to drop off the deal. By the way, if you are watching and you have a large portion of land, we can start a residential estate with, probably for land banking. Please send me a DM and we talk on how we can get the deal moving, please. So let's move from that. So the third thing, we've talked about you having a goal. We've talked about you not buying land because it is cheap. You are buying because the document is complete, accurate, and verifiable. So that also leads us to also talking about you verifying the location where you are buying the property, you are verifying the document, and so on. Don't buy based on promises. Buy because you've done your own background check. You've done because you are buying because you've done your own due diligence, right? So don't just buy based on promises. Including me, when I make promises, don't buy, right? Ensure you do your own background check, ensure you confirm, ensure you get the document to verify. So at the end of the day, you don't get stolen. Is that clear? So let's move to the last thing. Some people just buy land, especially in an estate. They just buy land and they don't consider that for most estates, when you buy, especially for estates that don't write all inclusive on the prices of the land, know this for sure, that you're going to pay more for that land, because there are estates that don't tell you that there are, I don't want to call them charges, hidden charges, right? Because these are stuffs that these are not hidden charges, but they are money you pay as part of the estate, so you can enjoy or live comfortably in your estate. They help you to live better. For example, compare the normal street where people live to a gated estate. Most of the time, the road is not paved. There's no drainage, no security, right? And even if you have a car, you just drive your car on the mud, right? And when you get to your house, the whole car is just messed up, right? There's no green spaces where you could just sit down and just, take cool breeze, right? There's no gym, there's nothing like that, right? So in a gated estate, a developer will try to provide most of these things so that you can live comfortably in this estate. Are you getting? So as such, note that whenever you are buying in an estate, you are going to pay for the development of the estate. You are going to pay for the development of the estate. And that is not just, you are not only paying for development, you are also going to pay for documentation, right? Documentation fee includes the payment for your contract of sale, for your deed of assignment, right? I talked of that yesterday. Contract of sale and your deed of assignment. Yes, they are legal documents that proves you own this land. Yeah, right. They show that this land belongs to you. It's a legal document that proves land ownership, and it's not survey, right? So you're going to pay for documentation fee. You're also going to pay for development fee. Also, you are going to pay for your survey, because survey is not free. So whenever you are buying land, you need to know everything it costs you to own that land. So it is not just that they advertise for you a land is 500k and you pay. What are other costs you are going to bear? You need to ask them. And that is part of what I'm saying. You are going to pay for your documentation, which includes your contract of sale and your deed of assignment, right? Or deed of lease or sublease, whatsoever it is. You need to ask. I need to, ask questions. You're also going to pay for your survey, because the survey shows you the exact size of your land. It shows you the exact location of your land. It shows you the exact boundary of your land. So you need that too, right? And after that, you're also going to pay for you are going to pay the developmental fee, right? Which is what the developer use in paving the road, use for perimeter fencing. They use that for, at times, security. They use that to build greenery. They use that to build recreational centers or recreational park in the estate, right? That is why when we truly look at it, in my opinion, real estate is not cheap. It is expensive, right? So that is the reason why when you see pre-launch offers, at most of the times, developers don't even tell them to pay developmental fee. When you see pre-launch offers, you jump on them because with that you can make more money compared to somebody who is buying when an estate is launched. Do you get? So all I'm trying to say now is that whenever you pay for a land, always ask what other thing are you paying for, so you are clear about the details of the transaction, right? So that's all I just want to talk about tonight, and I hope you learned something. So we talked about 5 mistakes. We talked about the biggest mistakes first time land buyers or property buyers make before buying a property. And we talked about not having a goal. We talked about buying a land because it is cheap. We talked about not verifying, doing their own verification or not doing their own due diligence. And lastly, we talked about not understanding other costs that is involved in buying a land. So that's all I want to talk about tonight. And once again, I'm Daniel Ekunluyi, and I'm currently building Dadref Homes and Properties. Peace.